Alright, guys, so I know I told you in the last episode that I got really interrupted by somebody that I'm not going to mention his name, but just let y'all know. Anyways, let's continue on with chapter 1. During dinner, we sat down and munched on some food. It hasn't been a thing when I first came into this group, but Matthew C. was one of those old Mustang peers who must have started the greasy trend, if I'm not mistaken. Whenever we mix two sauces together or have a ball of time, all the way at the back, Skylar and me call ourselves the Greaser Boys. But ever since I messed with the multiverse and thought I had fixed time itself, something came good out of it. Dory didn't die, but instead it got switched around with Dory's husband passing away at Moses' best. So luckily me, Dory's coming to visit myself this upcoming Sunday with a big sized bag of Chester's Flaming Hot Fries as a possible large Mountain Dew Baja Blast slushy and maybe some Jolly Rancher Chews, honestly speaking. But that was the only good news, because the bad news feels highly crazy on a high note. Since I haven't got much phone calls since my dad was taken off the phone call list, I didn't just get my newest caseworker on that list, I got one from Ryder Volger too. I began dialing up Ryder up last week after Sunday's phone call return from Dory, and things were about 30 seconds away from being absolute suspenseful. Ryder answers, and that's when we finally reunited. But nothing seems like it'll save itself, because no sooner after I answered, Ryder explains that Caleb Johnson's coming for me, and that his blood gang tribe may soon march over towards Ohio State, conquering everything in his plain sight. I asked Ryder why Caleb's doing this, and Ryder explains that his tribe has plotted sinister revenge on me, and even hacked into the secretive government web. Found myself inside Mohegan Star Academy. More like it. Ryder even states that Caleb was mad when he found out I had murdered Nina herself. But this doesn't make any sense, Ryder, I answer. Take a look for yourself. He's not wrong, but you see, that'll be a lesson to you when he does end up murdering you, Nicholas Ryan Bruce, Ryder says. But wait, is this really Ryder Vogler I'm talking to? I know you're not Ryder, sir, I asked. I know. To be honest with myself, I'm just Ryder's brother, Jaden Vogler, he finishes as this Ryder imposter hangs up the phone. Yep, so much for a reunite work of art. And yeah, I know who this kid is. Jaden Volger, aka Ryder's brother, has had some real beef in most of 2021. Mostly, Ryder's evil twin, my bad, has had tons of beef between me and Kenneth, but now he's joined Caleb's tribe seeking revenge as well. Which explains why us Mustangs are in big crisis towards saving the future of a legacy we built since then. And sometimes a backlash must be told once more. Foster Care in California Love, Part 3, How It All Ends, Part 1, Chapter 2, In the Middle of a Dark World. Part 1. Okay, look. And actually, did I skip a chapter? Did I actually? Hold up, guys. I'm looking right now. Yeah, okay, so this is actually chapter 2, so I kind of got mistaken, guys. I'm sorry for saying we're going to continue on with chapter 1. No, that was a huge mistake. So let's state this as chapter 2, okay? Okay, look, all that drama from Summer Ghostie's placement, I was wondering what CPS has in store for myself next, because sitting inside the IP school with kids like Isaiah Caldwell, Justin Lewis, and especially Caden Norris had its days, but a lot less with my good old pal named Caden anyways. Alright, hold on, guys.
Nice background. I just you say what? I just down there all the time. I'm not trying to get you mad or nothing.
Alright, bro. Alright, well, I ain't gonna be in the bathroom no more, so thank you. See, guys, and this is what I mean. This is the problem we be having, okay? Whenever I try to make a video and stuff like that, he has to find a way to interrupt the video, you know what I'm saying? So, I ain't gonna say his name, but, yeah. So, whereas I'm walking upstairs trying to make a video, a perfect video, I guess, because somebody else wants to ruin it, as I'm walking upstairs, I'm just gonna, try to do this the right way, because he's done this. He's only doing this just to get under my skin, and he knows what's going to do it ever since Dean is not here. But that's his little suck up, to be honest. So, yeah. And don't tell her I said that, guys. Okay? See, back in early 2021, how me and Kate Norris first met was when things suddenly turned upside down. Inside Shasta Lake Middle School, only real familiar answer being I used to have really bad anger issues, to be truthful with myself. I remember when Kate Norris had his orange beanie on the top of his head. He usually wasn't the type of person to say anything or anywhere. Because all I can memorize on my very first day inside IP school was that Justin and Isaiah were first in line to introduce themselves. Covering some Sonic movie black and white printed papers, Mr. Bolden was the head of our classroom daily schedule till June 2021. What ticked all of us off was when we still had him during summer school, which turned out to be completely torture. Mr. Bolden is an a-hole, treating us with some serious disrespect almost every single day possible. What I find absolutely hilarious to this day was how IP school ended up getting shut down when me and Caden were video calling at my group home. He said the place was going doggone when Mr. Bolden and some other teachers like Mr. Juston or Miss Savannah, and also some other dude's name I can't remember, who was wearing XL size clothing because he was flat as heck. And Caden stated that they supposedly got wasted, my bad, in front of everybody. In fact, nowadays, the so-called IP school in Anderson, California is no longer. I even tried one day searching onto Facebook to at least see if their page still ran, but looks like those chances of them keeping their web state clean was full of dookie horse crap. But before any of that happened, CPS picked me up and explained towards myself that they had found another placement, known as Darlene's Household Presence remaining. We drove into this nice-looking neighborhood, and when I entered to Darlene's home, she proved what Summer Golsky couldn't chance of becoming a better foster parent nevertheless. Darlene's place was massive, and Darlene didn't exactly have any rules. The only rules she did have was to keep it down after 9 o'clock p.m. It was already the month of October, and watching YouTube or listening to music wasn't just going to save a story appetite either. Chapter 2, Going Trick-or-Treating Part 2. Darlene took me over to buy a Halloween costume at Spirit Halloween, where everything we could have done super early was over past due. The Super Mario costumes disappeared from store shelves. Those Deadpool and Sonic the Hedgehog cosplay ones were gone, and surely nobody expected one of them FNAF costumes to be gone in a fast second just like that. So the only one I could at least tolerate was a Rick and Morty costume, being a Morty cosplay design at least. I remember when Tone and Phil Trisdale were dressing up as Rick and Morty for Halloween 2020, because doing their exact stunt was a perfect move to say as a fine relief. One of Darlene's foster kids invited his sister named Maya, who was an Asian girl. She told Darlene that I'm allowed to go trick-or-treating with her friends as long as her foster parents let her get the approval. Surprisingly, they actually did, and we drove into a big old neighborhood right between Redding and Shasta Lake. When walking uphill, there was large amounts of people also wearing costumes, like Michael Myers, SpongeBob SquarePants, Iron Man, Captain America, and furthermore dozens of Sonic the Hedgehog cosplay being worn act. When we kept walking around, people pointed out, "Oh, look, there's Marty, Mommy," or Morty, my bad. I don't know why I said Marty. Or, "Hi, Marty." Or, why did I say that again? Hi, Morty. Yeah, well, let's just get to the basics. I've gotten tons of extra fame that night, yet having a blast did things what others wouldn't understand one tiny bit. Maya went running around. I kept getting a load amount of candy inside my bag, and coming home, I waved Maya goodbye, and she waved back happily ever after. Those very last days at Darlene's place one night in particular, I heard a knock at the front door, and it was already past 11 o'clock p.m., no cap. I peeked to see who it was, and it turns out there was some teenagers who asked me if Darlene was awake, as I said, no, she isn't. But I kind of snuck out from Darlene's house for a bit, because this girl was the exact same age as me, began smoking vape, so me and her vaped together. I believed her friends left, and me and her walked back home instead. At first, I started thinking maybe she wanted to, or something like that, but she totally took off without any trace. So I walked back inside Darlene's house, and apparently Darlene was still asleep. So up until 3 o'clock, I fell asleep and woke back up around 10 or 12 in the morning. Coming back onto or over into IP school. CPS entrance to the building, and they stated that I'm gonna be sent over into a group home in Merced, California. I wasn't gonna find out where my roadmap would come to a dead end, but once my old caseworker picked me up, the journey looks like such a huge intake for a guy like me. I'll make this official. There's going to be a possible part 4 and part 5 coming up in later chapters, but I think us Mustangs are getting ready to pack our bags soon because we're getting back our old peers eventually. And so the end of the road begins. Chapter 3, Thursday. As the plan is getting set, things were looking pretty backwards for us Mustangs today. It all started with Braden mistakenly using the exact size dark blue jeans I'd be usually wearing a lot. His size matched mine, and I knew he was wearing them things for the past 3 days straight. So that was when Miss Madden kept asking myself to see if Braden's jeans were taken from me. When I began shouting at no, Chris then says, "Why do you gotta raise your voice at her?" That was when Miss Diombre walked out of the bathroom, so once Chris went in there to go change clothing, I asked Diombre about my concern. Unfortunately, it got bad when Chris walked out at the last second. Me and Diombre began arguing, because then Dianco and Desmond started interjecting, my bad, into our full-blown argumentative debate, and that was when it got ugly in there. I had to walk out. Before I even had a chance towards walking out of plain sight, Miss Madden says, "Whoa, okay, what are you doing?" Of course, Miss Madden, FYI, I'm trying to walk out of this mess, so now if you excuse me, I need to take a breather. Although Miss Madden didn't understand at all, I wasn't even trying to intentionally shove her, but when we circled up after breakfast, I should have trusted my gut when Mr. Taylor came around the corner. "Oh, are you gonna shove me? Then do it, come on," he yells. Mr. Taylor always be like that. He thinks that he's big and bad or something. How are you a staff when you can't even stop threatening me whenever you want? Exactly what Mr. Taylor tried on doing. He came up close to my face, but knowing he'll try laying his fingers on me is a sign of getting charges pressed on him. Thankfully, even when Mr. Taylor did try assaulting me first hand to hand, he failed because at least I didn't have to use my fist from shocking this dude across the goddamn face, especially after he's tried so many times in the past to do what he tried doing constantly. Well, for one, I was extra triggered by this moron, and I blew the roof off his place anyways. Miss Thomas came rushing through the Mustang's great room, and these peers had to evacuate quick because of me throwing a serious temper tantrum, all things from a dumb butt known as Mr. Taylor, the cocksucking pride. Whoa, what's that noise downstairs, guys? Whoa. It took about 30 to 5 minutes, or 35 minutes perhaps, to somewhat cool down a notch, yet getting a walk with Miss Thomas from the cafeteria towards the movie theater was really something else. Miss Thomas asked me who I can talk to, and that's when she said, "Hey, you like Mr. Gentili, right?" I sounded a bit confused, but she was being so serious. In fact, Miss Thomas walked me over into the Buccaneers dorm while Mr. Gentili be usually working at. Where Mr. Gentili be usually working at, my bad. Man, the last time me and Mr. Gentili really flew off like skyrocket was when Desmond's butt issue occurred. I remember how I used to call Mr. Gentili Mr. J, the J word. Yes, in his word. It's in the beginning instead of G. It'll be a J, I called him, whenever I couldn't pronounce names correctly. Everyone started to laugh once Mr. Gentili played jokes on Desmond, and only God would know how funny things would have turned out for Desmond nevertheless. Desmond tried playing that blame game, but Mr. Gentili walked around like a human penguin as he usually mumbles under breath, going, Tell me that wasn't going to make anybody laugh, because it for sure did too. Mr. Gentili asked me what was wrong, and he understood that I was in a crisis. So I explained to Mr. Gentili about how my mom never answered my calls for at least a good almost 6 months, nor have I ever gotten to know about my half-sister named Molly Fulcher, whom was murdered by my evil variant anyways. So this later came full price, and somehow I realized this Buccaneers dorm wasn't as cool as everyone thought it cracked up to be. Actually, when Miss Thomas took me over into the Cavaliers dorm, they bettered themselves worthy than all dorms combined. Our old Mustang peer, whoa. Y'all, you're hearing that? Someone's having a heart attack downstairs, I swear. This might be serious, though. Anyways, let's continue on. Our old Mustang peer, the other Alex, was playing cards with an old Buccaneers peer, along with Mr. SP playing some Magic the Gathering cards with them. Peyton is now a Cavalier. Armani looks to be like he got stuck with those guys or whatever. And pretty much for a spec inside what kind of hair power mansion they built upon, I wondered sometimes this group was being quiet as a mouse. Then why can't us Mustangs just do the same? Alex passed by me, and he gave myself a frown when he turned towards myself quickly as he'll be. Ever since Alex got a move from our group, he hasn't wanted to forget about all the mess that occurred months ago inside our own dorm. My bad if I spitted out some incorrect meaning to the vocabulary. Except Chris is right about that Alex should be a Cavalier no matter what. He'll play games over. Miss Thomas took me over back into the Mustangs dorm, and no sooner than later, things turned real juicy for not only towards me, nor our newest member named Alex from the Spartans, but Skylar doesn't make no actual difference either. Lately, Skylar's been slacking as a grad phase, like straight dog water. Everybody, including me, had tons of things to inform to Miss Mac about, and she totally became convinced around us, because Mr. Cutler walked into our great room, and he had a gray shirt handed over at the table. When Miss Mac told Skylar that she dropped him back from grad to progress, Skylar was sick. Now for this rest of the day being, when Skylar came out of his shower line, he wore that gray shirt again. So basically, we're probably going to have at what most is best, I say about 7 progress phases eventually soon. When the grad phase Isaiah from the Buccaneers came over and tried giving Skylar a tone of advice on what he should do better next time, Skylar couldn't even take advice towards someone who's doing a lot more better than side treatment. It really blew me off when Skylar tried blaming John for his problems, yet Skylar got only himself to blame, because drawing things that was easily referenced gangbanging comes as no shock, especially after Pierce caught attention to when a higher phase be getting caught for the things he's been doing a lot. Now our 2 highest phases is Jonathan and DeAndre, and surely DeAndre had a progress of 4, and surprisingly Desmond may finally get his progress phase in about less than 2 weeks coming up. The only big issue with Desmond wearing a gray shirt is he's going to probably win once and for all, even after he's gotten out of that gladiator dorm so long ago. But why does he have any right of being capable to win such a hassle, since Dez is Dez? But what I am totally, truly worried about is how about saying goodbye to John will impact the future of us Mustangs peers. After showers, Miss Mac told all of us that we're going to be packing our bags soon when Sunday passes by, and Miss Mac told myself that I hope your vision towards saving this facility's legacy goes well, because what will happen if we don't find our old peers like Braden M. or LaVille, nor Steven and Mikey, or even Cassie such and such? When Miss Mac put an image inside my mind I'll never forget, I really thought about what it will take to survive once Caleb and Jaden Vogler end up finding us anyway speaking. Then the phone rang. Ring! It got real silent from there. Miss Mac picked up the phone call. Then she handed it over to me. Hello? I answered. Once things began getting eerie out of nowhere, a good almost 15 minutes go by, and I hear Caleb Johnson speak his mind. I know where you live, blood, Caleb says. Dang, dude, downstairs is acting crazy right now, guys. Why can't you understand that I'm not the one who even murdered Nina, you idiot, I shout. Don't you see? The clock is ticking for y'all. When wherever you go, I go. But see, Nick, you're not realizing what will happen to your stupid little Mustangs of yours, blood. Caleb threatens, menacing. Wait, how do you, huh? That's when Caleb interrupts, saying, I've been watching ya. And cause I got a bomb waiting for y'all. Wasting my time, dog, right now. Cause get out of town or see y'all fools in hell, little bitch. But Caleb, wait, no! He hung up. Great. So now that I know what the drill is, I told John to let us circle up before bed. Circle up, Mustangs, Jonathan demands. Once I had to put something onto the table, it was super hard to explain what we're going to be facing down lane. Okay, so, yeah, guys, we got trouble on our hands because trying to explain what I just heard on the phone, we may have to beware for Caleb Johnson's Blood Gang tribe because he's literally seeking sinister revenge for so long. Hold up, Nick. What are you talking about, Nick? Jonathan asks. Look. Don't say my name twice, but I'll just let you know, my enemy from California has located us, and he's coming for all of us. If we don't reunite for old peers sooner than later, we may be in for a serious rude awakening. Nevertheless, I answer. So this guy is just not only a blood, but a kid from your past, the uncle asks. Yep, I answer. Somehow, and for no reason at all, he's located us here, right? DeAndre questions. Look, guys, he and his tribe hacked into the secretive government web, and all we can do is try our hardest into preparing for his worst nightmare. Just saying, no cap, I answer again. And let's see what we can do, Johanna finishes. Dun 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 dun. Just playing, guys. That was actually the Mad Dynasty intro. But if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't. Now, anyways, there's a lot of chaos going inside my house right now. That's why I was interrupted, almost like now it's going to be the third time because something's going on downstairs and I don't know what it is. But, as a matter of fact, let's go check it out. Okay, you know what? Let's be honest, guys. It's probably too violent down there, anyways, because things are getting crazy to say the least. But as you all wish, I'm gonna wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Cause let me tell y'all, I'm a real G. You feel me? But making this whole installment, the Mad Dynasty, is probably gonna take forever. Let's hope Dina comes back. To be honest, I'm gonna forget what I said about her, cause I'm going to make sure that when she comes back, this chaos won't spread and everything will be calm. But till then, we may never know. Because she's actually a really good person. But we may never know. So, yeah, basically, I'm just going to hit the hay. So, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification button if you haven't. And follow me on Money Heist Little 15 on Instagram. So, yeah. But catch you guys later. And I'm about to head out. So, yeah.